Hi, Brian. How are you? And congratulations for winning. Well, not just winning, but dominating this weekend so far in iRacing.
Thanks, Sam, and thanks, Thiago. It was
Right.
tough, but yeah, it was a good weekend, I guess.
That was
You
absolutely
guess. You
dominant,
guess.
Brian. That was absolutely dominant, Brian. What were you feeling through that final race, having the likes of Shamal Mendes putting in fastest lap after fastest lap on your tail, nothing separating you two? What were you feeling at that moment?
Hmm. I felt in my comfort zone because I'm used to pressure in the formulas, so it feels good to win with him being faster and trying to chase me down. So I'll take that any day.
Okay, Brian, I want to ask you this. Do you prefer it when you're out in the lead by 10, 11, 12 seconds like we saw in the consolation race? Or do you prefer that close battle when we saw Shimon Mendes getting very close to you within a few tenths of a second in the feature race?
The interview answer would be close racing, but I prefer leading by 20, 30 seconds and then finishing the race.
I thought as much. I thought as much. But what happened there when we saw that Shauma Mendes? He looked as if he was going to go for the overtake, and I think you also locked up into that sort of parabolic corner.
Yeah, I did lock up, and then I did like a late apex into that corner. I didn't expect Shamal to be alongside me, so I just took my line, and I think his front right and my rear left might have touched because these cars are so sensitive in the front. It's very hard to keep them in control when there's even a little nudge. So I think that's what caused him to have the spin. But credit to him, he's been quick the entire race today and even in qualifying. So if he was here, I would congratulate him as well. I haven't been able to contact him on Discord or anything like that, but it was a
No,
great race.
superb, superb. I'm sure he's listening, and he'll take those congratulations. And finally, what does this mean for you now? This is obviously coming from GT, the GT Sport and GT7 into iRacing. Has it been a difficult transition for you? Has it been? Is it very difficult is it very difficult to adjust yourself to this new format of racing that the CMSC has introduced this year?
It took a bit of time to get used to the physics of the new game because GT7 was completely different to iRacing. But I think once you put in a few laps in like 20, 30 laps, you get used to it. So I'm in my comfort zone. I've got a good lead in the championship now. I can just take race by race and hopefully come on top at the end of this.
Awesome, awesome. And finally, was there any tire management that you were employing in that last race? We saw a pit stop as well towards the end.
So I tried to save some fuel because I think at the end we all noticed that we were not going to be able to make it to the end. But then even with the fuel saving, it didn't do much. So I decided to finally get some laps in at the end and then push after the pit stop for 2 laps.
Understood, understood. Well, thank you for joining us, Brian. Thiago, do you have anything?
No, yeah, it was just very confusing here in the commentary box for Sam and I as we were scrambling our minds looking through the regulations, wondering whether there was a mandatory pit stop required, because we saw you and Shamal entering the pits at the same time, so that would clarify exactly why. So, were you planning on doing that pit stop regardless and not fearing that Shamal may not have to pit, or did you know it was under control and that Shamal would also have to pit?
I knew it was under control because Shamal was doing much faster times than me, and my fuel with those times I knew that he has to pit. So, but I did not. What I was wondering was whether the third, fourth, fifth drivers were gonna pit because the gap was a bit big when I checked it. So I was a little worried about that, but I think the pit stop went very quick. So
Brian,
got in front.
Brian, was this a tire limited track or fuel limited track? Like, was it just a splash and dash with fuel, or did you have to look into the tires?
It was a splash and dash with fuel, but I changed tires just to be safe. But it's a fuel related track. The tires are completely fine even after like 30 minutes of racing. We could still do 24 lows and 23 highs. So it was a fuel track for sure.
Awesome stuff, Brian. We'll let you get back to doing your own thing, as I'm sure it is very late in the evening over there in Australia. But congratulations, you have had a perfect weekend. Points for qualifying, the 2 sprints, and the race win, and you have now cemented yourself at the top of the championship. So congratulations.
Thanks, Thiago. Thanks, Sam.
All right.
See you guys.
Thanks.
See
See
you.
you.